You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
Okay, so true story, I was scared to try tampons because I didn't know if they'd be able to protect like pads. Took me a few tries, but once inserted properly, tampons shouldn't hurt. If you feel it, it's not in far enough. Believe me, it changed my life. Like pads, tampons offer up to 100% leak-free protection, whether you're on the go or chilling at home. Now, I do and wear whatever I want on my period, thanks to the freedom and flexibility I get with adding Tampax to my routine. Learn more at Tampax.com.
On Twitter. We are back on Packernet. JJ Leahy, Ryan Schlip, and Jake Shavink. Welcome, boys. Thanks for making this happen. Coming at you a little bit later in the evening because Jake was doing something mysterious. He doesn't want to share what, so we're not going to ask. But just know that if something happens with the Eagles, if there's any sort of sabotage, Jake was not involved. Not at all. So, we didn't talk about what we're gonna.
Will not hear anything about that.
We didn't like rigorously plan out this episode, but I imagine we're gonna be talking about this here, upcoming Packers Eagles game. I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty freaking excited that we are less than a week away from Packers football 2024 season, the real deal. Enough of this preseason crap. I'm so excited to watch Jordan Love and the first string offense go out there and see Jeff Hafley's first string defense out there and just no holds barred, no punches pulled, just beat the living tar out of the Eagles in Brazil. How about you guys?
Yeah, I think it's weird because it's actually getting harder to talk about the Packers because I'm done. Like I'm done talking. Like let's go already. Like we'll talk. Here's the Eagles and da da da. It's like, bro, I just need to see the game. It's been way too long.
I agree, and also like we can't just shut our brains off and wait for 5 days because. I don't know about you guys. I can't stop thinking about the game. I don't want to think about it anymore. I just want to watch it. But I can't think about anything else but this. And if I'm not talking about it, I'm going to explode.
4 days, lucky enough. Feels like a Sunday. Isn't a Sunday. Great news. It feels
that helps.
It feels like
thank you.
Not as far.
Thank you, Labor Day, for making it a shorter week.
Yeah.
I placed a $3 bet for Josh Jacobs to score the first touchdown of the game and Romeo Doubs to get 2 touchdowns and the Packers to win. The payout on that,
advice. This is not advice.
The payout on that is $2,500. So. I feel like that's not that far-fetched of an outcome.
No.
We got quite a few people just hopping in the chat all at once here. So Turtles. How you doing? Too old for this. Glad to see you could make it. Appreciate you. We also got an X commenter, Michael Redden. We don't get a lot of X commenters. Thank you for representing that platform, Michael. There's a lot of people that watch on X, but most of the comments come.
Vast majority,
Yeah.
Tyler Young says it's going to be a great team. Defense has a chance to be so special. Lloyd flashes so good. Jacobs is a top 3 running back in the league. I can't wait. So I think that we have kind of covered that we think Josh Jacobs in 2024 is a pretty underrated NFL player. And is there anybody else that you guys think is underrated on this team right now, even by Packers fans?
Oh, this team.
Especially by the national media.
Darn it. You said underrated player, and my mind immediately went to Malik Neighbors because nobody has any idea what's coming once the season begins. But on this team, that's
I mean, we could ask the audience, we could ask the chat if they want to hear you talk about the Giants or the Packers.
No.
Could put that to a vote.
Underrated on this team. I'm starting to think maybe we're underrating Slayton's impact potentially. With him being a starter, it's a contract year, and how important he's going to be as a one tech. Like, I know that Kenny has done his best when he's thrown into one tech looks, but I mean, it's pretty much when they're out there with it base looks. I mean, Slayton's going to be, I think, pretty crucial for them to stop the run. I think the young linebackers trying to get into run fits, especially now that Kellen Moore's there with the Eagles, right? There's going to be there's no more like we're running inside zone and we're just throwing up, shot plays, to the boundary. Like that offense, that's done with. Moore has thrown a tons of motion so far in the preseason. I know that obviously their starters haven't played, but I think it's a clear indication that it's going to look different. So, I think I think Slayton's going to be key to get Green Bay into a lot of, second and long, third and medium to long looks. And I think, in a contract year, I think he could potentially be that underrated guy in the defense that we're just maybe not talking about as much, because I think we really like the idea of everybody trying to, the Wyatts and the Brookses and Van Ness and Enigbare, like just pinning their ears back. But like having Slayton there, I think will be crucial.
So Ed Hunt in the comments has my answer, number 52, Rashawn Gary. And I feel like I've ranted about this a bunch of times about how an ACL is a 2-year recovery. So he should be fully recovered by mid-year this year. So I'm expecting him to come out the gate pretty hot, stay hot all year. And I would like to remind people that even though last year was seen as a crap year for Rashawn Gary by a lot of the fan base, he turned in a pretty serviceable season. I think the most disappointing part of it would be that down the stretch toward the end of the year, weeks 13 through, roughly the end of the season, the tackling wasn't really there. Pass rush just wasn't really there. Even though it had been pretty solid the rest of the year prior to that, he still turned in a 10-sack season. And I think, if you're looking for where would a guy who is still in the middle of an ACL recovery, where would that be showing up? Well, probably in the longevity of his ability to play out a full season, that he's losing steam throughout the year. Not that big of a stretch to think that could be, related to that recovery. So I think that's fully behind him now, unless he gets re-injured, and there's no reason to think he would. I think that he's going to be back to, the beast level of Rashawn Gary. Too old for this says that the Bears still suck. It's true. He also cast a vote for you to talk about the Giants, Jake.
Yeah, what's up? What about? Oh, that's a vote for the Giants. We're going to
it's a vote. Yeah, see, he's doing a little exclamation mark. Remember when we do the poll that Ryan sets up? You got to vote like that.
There you go.
See, too old for this is he's like in the Packernet derailed meta. Like he's been around such a long time on here. Ryan, I want you to take this question or this comment from Ed Hunt here. Week 1 is tough, yet week 1 is tough enough, yet let alone we have to leave the country to play in Brazil. Definitely looking forward to seeing how the crowd and the atmosphere is there.
Well, I mean, that goes both ways. So however hard it is for the Packers, that's how hard it is for the Eagles. It's a lot of chirping going on about Eagles fans that it's going to be a home game for them. I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know if it's just talk because that's what they do is talk. But that would not be my expectation. Packers fans not only travel better, but Brazil is pretty heavily Packer fans out there. It's the number one team that is represented in Brazil. So we'll see what happens, but I think they're going to be in for a little bit of a surprise. I think the Packers are going to have a little bit more of a home field advantage. But we'll see. I am excited about the crowd, too. We haven't talked about that in a while, but those people get pretty wild out there, so I'm hoping it's a little rowdy. That would be my hope.
I was dunking on some tweet from a Philly beat writer, I guess, talking about how the flight he was on from Philadelphia to Brazil had a bunch of Eagles fans on it, and how that was why he was thinking this was going to feel like a home game for the Eagles. I'm like, gosh, why would people from Philadelphia be flying to Brazil this week?
This flight is all Eagles fans. Yeah, dude, you're flying out of Philly, stupid.
I don't know, man. There weren't a lot of Packers fans on that flight from Philly to Brazil. I don't know if they're going to show up.
Guys, these 300 people on this flight are going to just be so loud in that giant stadium.
Yeah, right.
Hey, man, nice 0.001% of the stadium. Sick, dude, on this Eagles flight. Awesome. Love that.
Hey, on the topic of it being an Eagles home game, I'd like to remind Eagles fans it is a home game, and the Packers don't have to give up a game in Lambeau this season.
You got
in Brazil.
It's a tough scene. You got.
So, oh, here we go. Fantasy football question, because all three of us are so good at fantasy. Tool for this has Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, and all of the Packers receivers in fantasy. Who should he start?
Well, obviously, your wide receiver one is Wicks, right? That's a given. You start Cooper Kupp. First off, they're playing the Lions, and I know they added 2 corners. They're rookies, okay? There's going to be growing pains. That secondary is still waiting to be shredded once again, and I'm sure Stafford and company will happily oblige to absolutely shred them Sunday night. So, Kupp's an automatic.
On behalf of Ryan and myself, thank God for Jake.
Yeah, I haven't even. I got my one and only draft coming up on Wednesday. I have not begun looking at fantasy even once. I couldn't tell you who's even on what team anymore. I have no idea what's going on.
Dude,
the only thing I would say is be wary
year.
of the Packers receivers because it's just like 2011 all over again. You never know which one's going to hit. One day is going to be Wicks day. One day is going to be a Watson day. It's just a complete crap. You're going to have one of the guys on the bench, one of them in, and you're going to pick the wrong one, and it's just going to suck.
Yeah. What you got to do is once one of those guys has a big week, you still have some Packers receivers. Trade for, get more diverse with the assets, okay, at receiver.
Yeah.
Tyler Young says Lucas Van Ness is his pick for underrated Packer. Thoughts there? I mean, I have been on the record for a while saying that I had Lucas Van Ness as my number 1 overall football player in that draft class. So you already know I'm a Lucas Van Ness truther.
It's hard to say. You'd have to kind of know where the fan base has him. It's potentially underrated. It's hard because everybody I look at, I feel like the fan base hates, which is weird. Like everyone's excited about the defense, and I don't know why, because Rashawn Gary's not good enough, and Jair's not good enough, and Stokes is garbage, and Keyshawn is just a kick returner, and Quay's not good enough, and what is everybody excited about? Because all I hear is complaining about everybody all the time, so I don't know. I mean, my vote honestly would be Xavier McKinney, just because if there's like a top 5 guy on the team, I think it's Xavier McKinney. And not really talked about very much, in my opinion, as far as it's always Rashawn and maybe Jair that are talked about as the top guys. It's like, I think Xavier might be, less valuable position, but still, he might be a very serious asset that is just kind of forgotten about, especially since we drafted 3 safeties. Everyone's like, yeah, Evan Williams, like it's going to be great. Like, yeah, probably, but we already have a really, really good safety on the team, so.
he does feel like he is underrated nationally.
Yeah.
I feel like he always finds himself in that like safety 7 or 8 spot when a lot of people like either the Madden ratings or like people are ranking safeties, and it's kind of like, yeah, he's healthier than a couple of guys ahead of him.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who we're talking about there. He plays in LA, but not no disrespect. The league is better when Derwin James is healthy, but I feel like, yeah, I don't know, maybe just being cautious about the one season, but like I feel like it's about maybe one hand, if that many, that I can name their safeties that are better than McKinney right now.
Yeah.
Off of last season's performance, like it just feels like it's like it is fun. It is how quick we kind of pivoted from like, yes, McKinney, nice, great sign. Okay, so who did we draft in the first? Okay,
yeah, right.
It's like it was a very quick pivot. I feel like once the draft started, and it's like, yes, new young guys at safety, and I agree. It's kind of like, Bullard's going to be cool, but the reason Bullard and these rookies are going to be in the right spot, making good plays, is because the other guy back there has is basically a general. And so
he's doing all the hard stuff.
Right, exactly. It's like, oh my gosh, this rookie's in the wrong spot again. I got this. I got you, man. Like it feels like we might see some of that, but like it was very clear that Green Bay was the offseason for them. I think we've been collaborating for a long time. Like, hey, Goody, safety position. Listen, love what you're doing. Great work. Safety time, and he just kind of just turned it on, and that was good. But yeah, I don't think there's anyone I'm more excited about for the Packers than McKinney, for sure.
Yeah, I just remember when we were all going through and trying to figure out which safeties made sense to bring in. There were a bunch of people. I remember like Ryan was one who, did a dive on McKinney and came back and said like, okay, this is the guy. Like, if money's no object, this is the guy. And I didn't even really look at him that close because I was just like, I know he's not the guy because they're not going to go after him. So I'm looking at the the cheaper guys. And if you asked me at that time, like, do you want McKinney? Sure, I want McKinney, but I'm not actually wasting any brain power on thinking about McKinney because it's not going to happen.
Well,
and we got him.
It was an exciting offseason because I said it about McKinney. I also said it about Josh Jacobs because everybody was talking about what's his name that we're going up against this week, Barkley.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would rather have Jacobs than Saquon any day of the week. I mean, Saquon has never been as good as his namesake. He's got serious injury problems. Yeah. Josh Jacobs is a lot better. And then it's just kind of under the radar. We sign him, and it's like, yeah, but did you see what the Eagles did? Like, yeah.
Yeah, they lost out on McKinney.
We got the best young I think the two best young players available in free agency are Packers right now.
Well, and one thing that has been interesting to consider about those signings is Goody is never in on those guys who are looking for that big third contract in free agency. Right. And those are always the names that people are, screaming about.
Right.
Goody loves paying guys their second big contract. It's just usually those guys are already on the Packers. So the fact that I think it was Goody was the guy who was talking about McKinney and the fact that like those guys are just never available in free agency because they get paid by the team that drafted them every single time.
Well, and that's why Gutekunst must have just been like, what is even happening right now? First of all, everybody should want them. Why am I able to just buy them? Like, you know how much work it is to go through the draft and actually find guys that are this good, and how great of a moment it is when you can give them their second contract, and you guys are just giving up on them, and I get to just buy them. I don't have to do any scouting. I don't have to do any, no draft, no develop. I just swipe a credit card. Okay, 31 teams just going to let this get away. Fine. You go ahead and sign the 32-year-old wide receiver or the 36-year-old safety for a one-year contract that has big name recognition.
25 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and Jacobs is what, 26?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Jason says, I want to say we have a better defense, but new scheme, new coaches, new starting safeties, questionable Stokes. They need to prove it first, but I'm hopeful. Jason, I just want to say I'm right there with you. But I kind of need them to be good on defense because at this point, they've done everything. And so if it's still not good, I think I'm just going to give up on like us ever having an elite defense because I don't know where else you go from here. We literally went out and hired the coach that I wanted us to hire for the defensive coordinator. Jeff Hafley was the human that I was asking for back in 2020. And like across the board, look, I like our corners. I think I like our safeties. I know I like McKinney. I like our defensive line. I have like some questions about the defensive line going into the future, but not this year.
Yeah.
So if it's not good now, and like in the NFL, I don't feel like you have the same like type of learning curve that you have in college a lot of the time where you need the defense to really, get installed and take place for multiple years. Like you see 1 year makeovers on defense in the NFL all the time.
Yeah.
I just need I need it to work because I don't have any other ideas after this.
Yeah.
Like in the past when the defense has not worked, it kind of made sense why it didn't work a lot of the time. You're like, okay, sure. This position group right here is absolutely decimated and we didn't do enough to address it here. Or, half the fan base thinks that the defensive coordinator is an idiot, whatever. But like and it's not just the players and the defensive coordinator. It's also all the position coaches. We basically have like 1 3/4 position coaches for every position on the team.
Yeah.
And most of them are way overqualified for their job. Like,
yeah.
We've got like 3 guys on here that probably should be defensive coordinators in the league. So
right.
If not now, then when? So
yeah,
here's my answer.
Yeah. So to kind of play off both of your points, to Ryan's really quick, it does seem like I don't know why teams are kind of just letting go of some safeties these past few like free agency cycles to try to like find another guy. Seems very weird. Obviously, the Saints let Marcus Williams go because they don't have money. So that's a problem on their end. The Bengals let Jesse Bates go. Atlanta's probably doing the same thing Goody's doing this year. If they were doing last year, kind of like, okay, sweet. So we don't have to try and draft to find any of these guys who can play single high. We just have him. Okay, cool. And so like Goody probably did the same thing. You're not going to luck into like Kyle Hamilton's all the time in the draft, right? Like that's not safeties. There's a lot that goes into playing that position, especially if you're in like Fangio defenses, where you and defenses where you have to play, half and also play, middle field, like, as a single high safety, like so many responsibilities. Just letting these guys walk, very strange. And to JJ's point, yeah, it's Mike Daniels has said this, right? He's kind of like, we've tried a lot of things. What, I don't know what is missing in that room. And so, yeah, I hope it's this. I hope playing aggressive, keeping it simple but effective is going to be the way to kind of somehow get this defense back on track, because feels like it's been a while for sure. So I feel like I'm a little hesitant at 2 position rooms. I think corner and linebacker would be the 2 that I'm most either concerned about or just kind of in a wait and see mode to see how things look. Linebacker is a hard position to play. You got, I don't know who. If they're going to have McDuffie at Mike, okay, great. We know he can fit the run. If they're going to put Quay at Mike, interesting. If they're going to put Cooper at Mike, like that, either of those young guys at Mike is going to be a lot of responsibility. So I'm just interested to see how that plays out. And, yeah, if Stokes or Valentine or somebody, looking at the 7th round pick, maybe gets elevated at some point. We'll see. Can step up and do something here. That would be great, and that would be immensely helpful. I think pass rush can help coverage. Coverage can help pass rush. It's a relationship that works both ways, and to kind of have those both firing on all cylinders is what's going to really carry this defense to where some people believe it can get to. So.
Jason asks, do you guys think it will be a high-scoring or low-scoring game?
I'm trying to remember what the context of it was. Oh, I think it was the robot. I was asking the robot about it, and came out with a low-scoring score or whatever. I think there's a lot of expectation for that, partially because it's week 1, so there's an assumption that it's going to take a while to get into the groove. Partially because there's an expectation of good defense. I'm not entirely sure why. The Eagles' defense ranked 30th last year, and it's the Packers, but I guess there's an expectation of really good defense. I'm just going to be optimistic and say that it's going to be a high-scoring game, because not that I want our defense to be bad, but I just want a lot of points, and I don't want to see us stumbling out of the gate on offense. So I'm not going to say anything about the Eagles, but I think the Packers are going to score a lot of points. How about that?
Well, once the Josh Jacobs and the 2 Romeo Doubs touchdowns are out of the way,
yep, there you go.
I just need the Packers to keep outscoring the Eagles, and then I'll be happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there are arguments Quinyon Mitchell's both, right? All about.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I think there are arguments for both. I think the argument for the low-scoring game is that everyone is rusty, including the offenses that haven't quite had like all of the preseason snaps. I know the Packers have gotten, that they had a few snaps against the Browns and they've had the joint practices, so that's maybe helped a little bit. So that's potentially where you get that high scoring for the Packers side of things. The Eagles have obviously done nothing in the preseason. They have, kept everybody out. So with that maybe limited reps is where you go, okay, maybe it's not like the defenses are good. It's just that everybody's out of sorts and is just trying to find their rhythm.
Yeah.
Now, for the high-scoring game, I think it might be a little bit easier the more I think about it now. I think initially I was just kind of like, everybody's going to be rusty. It's just going to be kind of a sloppy game. It could be 20-17, and that wouldn't be surprising at all. But the Eagles are walking in some new DBs to a scheme that is pretty complex in terms of assignments. That's not good.
Yeah, a rookie and a guy that hasn't played since 2022.
Right. And so now you're asking them to be in a position to understand, to be in perfect synchronicity in terms of, okay, this is what I'm doing in, cover 4 on this side, or 6 out, we're running cover 6. I got 2 to this side, or this is what I match on the number 2 versus the number 1. If the number 1 goes across the field, it goes, man, rookies and new players in there doing that, with a bunch of good receivers on Green Bay side, that's a tall order.
And
same on Green Bay side too, right? There's going to be, a rookie safety playing in some regard.
Sure.
And I know the Eagles lost Kelsey. They still got a pretty good offensive line to kind of, keep Hurts upright. And then the linebackers are young in Green Bay. There's going to be a lot of motion. Is it going to mess with their heads a little bit as well? And we know the Eagles have good receivers. They're going to be able to challenge the Packers corners out there. So secondary's got a tall task in this one.
Yeah, and DBs in general, I think their safeties got worse too.
Yeah,
for the Eagles. So yeah, I don't disagree. Plus, wasn't it a thing that we talked about before? It's actually the defenses that are a little slower out of the gate. I thought that was kind of a thing that we had learned at some point.
Yeah, it does seem like everybody went from it was just kind of assumed that the defenses would be in a good place. I think it maybe when it was more the spot drop principles were easier to pick up and get into, and a lot of teams have gotten into this match stuff where it's a little more complex, like post snap. That maybe has contributed that to to a bigger degree now. I think with defense being a lot tougher early on.
Side note, too old for this. Friday will be the first time I've watched something other than The Office and Cocaine Bear on my Peacock account. Too old for this. Is Cocaine Bear good? It's been on my watch list for forever.
Same here.
It's like the next item on my list always. And then I always end up slotting one other thing right in front of it. But I really want to see it. Maybe it's good.
It's definitely on my list of I need to watch it, but every time I think should we watch? It looks so stupid. I don't think I can commit to it. I just don't think I can do it. But with an endorsement, maybe I'll just get it done.
But I keep thinking to myself, I just need to see it with the right person, because like if you go into it knowing it's going to be stupid, but you're watching it with someone who would be fun to watch something stupid with, then it won't feel like a waste of time.
Yeah.
Ed Hunt, who has the better season, Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins? Both coming off the same injury, both kind of in the first year. Aaron with 4 plays with the Jets. Both have to figure out with new players. I know it's a random question. It seems pretty clear cut to me. Kirk Cousins, I think he has got a pretty fantastic offensive roster around him. I mean, there's a new head coach there and questions about the defense, but I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a much better season. Rodgers has not been good since like the middle of the 2021 season. He started off bad, finished bad in 2021, was kind of horrible in 22, didn't play in 23. So it's like 4 years since the last time he was good.
No.
I don't see any reason. I mean, like I didn't want Aaron back with the Packers in 2023, largely because I just didn't think he had it anymore. I was very ready to move on to a younger quarterback who was going to play good football. I think Rodgers is kind of done. I hope he has a good season. I hope he has a lot of fun, makes some really good memories. I would think Kirk Cousins is probably going to win more games, probably going to have better passing stats.
Yeah, I would say it's contingent on that being the case, though. If Rodgers has even like a 2021, which was not an MVP season, but was a good season.
I mean, technically, he won the MVP that year.
Well, I mean, he didn't deserve it.
No.
Say 2019,
Burrow got robbed.
Basically the same thing. I mean, I think there's the offensive weaponry, and then of course the defense is the biggest difference when you look at the Jets and the Falcons. So I don't know. I think if Rodgers can be a decent quarterback, I think the Jets might actually be a pretty good team. But when you look at the dysfunction of the organization and Rodgers maybe just not being very good, and honestly, I think some of their players might be a little bit overrated. I think Garrett had his really good rookie season, completely fell off, and nobody really noticed it, and everyone just assumes he's a top 3 wide receiver still. I don't think that's the case necessarily.
You had me on board, Ryan, until Garrett Wilson. I think he's way better than Drake London. I don't think it's close.
Oh, yeah, I think he's better than Drake London, but I don't think he's as good as he was his rookie year.
That's fair.
Well, they're also, those two guys are not operating in a vacuum. Drake London has some other good playmakers in that same offense with him.
Sure.
I don't really think that Garrett Wilson does. I mean, there's
Lazard, hello. Jeez, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's bringing guys over with him.
God, such a disrespectful.
I mean, even if you're a Breece Hall truther, and most people, except for me, are. I mean,
Yeah,
you really
you're on the wrong side of history.
stand
That's
here
fine.
and say that Bijan Robinson is not, doesn't really cancel out Breece Hall. Okay.
Well, that's a different question, right? Is Breece Hall good versus does Bijan cancel out Breece? Those are two separate questions, right? I think the difference is going to be the offensive line, personally. That is I mean, I think the Falcons, while maybe it's not the best, I think they've proven it more. And the Jets have a bunch of guys with injuries. They added a guy in the draft in the first who really only plays tackle. They can't really even best 5 with Fashanu, which kind of stinks for them. So I think it has that feel to it, at least with the Jets, of if that Rodgers is if he doesn't feel comfortable,
yeah, that's a big one.
That's the problem. If Moses and Tyron Smith already start to get on that injury report early in the season, right, where they're playing but they have that listed injury, and you just kind of like it's affecting their play a little bit, like is Rodgers going to start hearing stuff? And we know he does that. Like that's the one thing that drives people nuts.
Well, I think
when he starts hearing stuff and he starts exiting pockets that he shouldn't be exiting.
He started getting real bad with that latter part of his career, which I think was part of his decline. Was he wasn't seeing the field anymore. He's bailing too much.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot of us just looking at it going, what do you throw the ball? Like, what are you doing? And now with him getting older, which, it feels like a lot of these older guys, they really don't like contact anymore. No. On top of that, dude tore his ACL last year, so he's already kind of going to be panicked about it. I don't think it's going to take very long for him to take a couple hits, and it really gets up in his head pretty fast, which is why I said, JJ's probably right about the assessment of Rodgers. I would agree. I'm just putting in the caveat that if he ends up having a good year, the Jets might end up being a good team. But I do think that there's a lot of reason to believe that Rodgers is not going to be MVP form.
Yeah. Honestly, the knee injury against the Bears was probably the best thing that happened to him because he had to get the ball out quick because he couldn't run around very much. And it's like, oh my gosh, he's throwing in rhythm. What's happening right now?
Right.
2015 and 2016, it's over. Thank goodness, right? Like that almost like got him back to like, wow, we can start seeing this throw in rhythm, like at least for that game. So and yeah, that's the one thing that I think makes it easier to say Kirk Cousins. Obviously, he's 4 years younger, I think. Is that the number?
Yeah,
35 or 36.
His body's starting to take a beating too, though.
It is for sure, and I think, but I think trust Kirk more because I think he's going to trust his offensive line more than Aaron is, and he does have a couple more playmakers, I think, than the Jets. The Jets are going to have to heavily lean on Wilson and Hall. Kirk's going to have some options.
And Lazard.
Yeah, and Lazard, yes. My bad.
Tool for this has an answer for us. Cocaine Bear is surprisingly not awful. I enjoyed it. Although I only watched half of it.
Couldn't have been that good. That was the worst endorsement ever.
Yeah, that's not a good sign
it
at all.
It was good. I didn't finish it. I turned it off and went and did something else, but it was good. It was good.
The rest of it was good.
It felt like it was going in a good direction when I shut it off and watched something else.
I went back to The Office halfway through that movie.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Scott's Tots after half of Cocaine Bear.
I'm now even more on the fence, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that was helping.
Yeah.
All right, I think for science, somebody on this live stream needs to watch Cocaine Bear and
watch it as we're doing this and let us know. Give us some updates if it's any good or not.
There we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm asking the robot.
What's next on the list, quote unquote?
Yeah, the list that we didn't make. Yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm not trying to shame the commenters or anything. You guys are doing great. We appreciate you being here. Not a lot of derailing going on.
No.
I feel like we're staying on topic more so than is typical. Maybe it's a little late. Everybody's tired. I know I am. I'm not winning derailing nothing tonight.
Where it's just like people are now focused that the NFL season is about to start, and they're like, I don't have. Yeah, no, I it's like I need to know about the Eagles.
Yeah, let's talk about football right now. Yeah, that seems like a good idea.
There is no way we were having, people ask about who's better, Cousins or Rodgers, in late July. Like those questions were not happening.
That was going to get derailed instantly.
Right. Yeah, those questions were not the same. So it does seem like everybody's kind of locking in right now.
Yeah, I guess that's
we got
good.
A fantasy football question. Like we are way out of the derailed element at the moment.
Yep. Derailed may struggle here.
Yeah.
During the
All right,
season.
the robot is going to decide our fate. One of us has to go watch Cocaine Bear this week.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Jake!
Freaking congratulations.
Robot
this
picked
robot.
Jake.
Okay.
All right, Jake, you got to watch Cocaine Bear and tell
this
Ryan
week.
and I whether it's... Yeah, this week. And tell us
So that's the report.
That's the scouting report we want from you is Cocaine Bear. Don't watch any film on the Packers.
Okay.
We don't need any college scouting reports. I want to know Cocaine Bear.
Okay.
All right.
I should put. I'm gonna. Spoiler: I'm gonna start putting stuff up on the Patreon this week. Some of the prospects, just little snippet breakdowns. I'll also put the Cocaine Bear breakdown up there too.
Yeah,
that's what I'll do. Why is this guy putting this on there? Welcome to the film room.
Welcome to the
We're
film
watching
room.
an actual film today. Yeah, it's Cocaine Bear.
Jake's
All right.
NFL draft and movie review.
Yeah, just one movie review.
It's actually a solid like movie podcast title, The Film Room.
Yeah,
It is.
there's probably a few
all
of
right.
those if you search on like Spotify
sure
or
there is,
something.
yeah.
There's like, oh, there's 13 of them.
Going into the film room.
How many of the 13 are NFL and how many are and how many are movies? Give me your best guess.
All right, we have a listener here, and Jake or Ryan, how would you guys? What's your best guess at the pronunciation of this name? I don't want to butcher it.
Can we just ask?
Chao Morera.
That could be
Awesome. All right. He says he or she says, "Hey guys, Packers coming to town this week in Sao Paulo. Going to the game. Very excited. Awesome.
Nice.
I'm super happy for you. I wish I
Yeah,
could
that
be at
is
that
awesome.
game.
That is
We need-
very,
we need-
very cool.
We need a report back next Monday on how it was, atmosphere wise. You know,
Yes.
all of that. That's what we need.
We'll do the
All right,
Cocaine
so-
Bear report
Yeah,
first.
this is the
Then
next
we'll do-
the next report. Here we
Yeah.
go. That's good. We're building a list for next week.
That's right. Well,
This is
we'll
how
be
you know it's
structured
not
a
the
little
off season. What's going on? What's happening here?
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to just say Brazilian Packer fans have deserved a Packers game
bit. Yes.
in their home country for a very long time. It has been really weird to me how many of my friends have complained to me about there being these international games. Like it's, something that like really offends them. And,
Yeah.
and I don't understand why, and have not been able to wrap my hand around why it's a bad thing. That there would be NFL games in other countries. I think it's awesome because I know a lot of Brazilian Packer fans on X that I get to talk to who have been rooting for the Packers for a bunch of years. People that I met on there in 2019, 2020. And I mean, there is a ton. There's a huge Brazilian Packers fan base on social media.
And it's weird because you would think maybe it's because of this that they're coming out. I mean, this has been for years. I mean, 3-4 years ago, you knew tons of Brazilian, like whole accounts, Packers, Brazil, and all this stuff. I've commented on it before in years past. Like, other countries, you got, the UK or whatever, and then Brazil randomly down here, and they can't, like all the ones that are kind of in the area. It's hard to even think of another nation that represents the Packers more so than Brazil outside of the United States. Maybe the UK would be the one, but it's not even Canada. Like Canada, I feel like doesn't care. They got their own crappy version that nobody watches. I don't know of any like Canadian. I mean, there's Goose in Canada or whatever. There's a couple random people, but no, it's like the UK and then Brazil are the two biggest Packers supporters that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I mean, I even think about like Dara, who we've known him for
Sure.
5-6 years now, and just how excited he is about the Green Bay Packers, this Wisconsin football team. And like, we should be going to these other countries and bringing the Packers to these other countries, so that these people who have, I mean, like you look at Dara, he stays up till 3-4 in the morning, easy.
Right.
To watch like one of our noon games.
That's
So,
wild.
I mean, it takes a lot more effort to be an NFL fan when you're living in another country that's nowhere close to the same time zone. You're not getting it on, your regular TV over there. I mean, and then I think about the fact that I whine because it's a 5.5 hour drive for me to get to Green Bay from where I live. Like, oh, boo-hoo, JJ.
Yeah, or that it's a late game. Like, why's it got to be so late, bro? It starts at 9. That's ridiculous.
Or the Sunday ticket thing, very first world problem.
Or Peacock.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I didn't want to have to stay up this late to watch this. I wanted to be able to lay in bed a little bit later and scroll through TikTok after the game.
It's on an app I can download for free. I don't want to do that.
Could be
Put it on my TV.
Bro, my phone's getting full, bro.
It's like
I'm gonna have to
I got to
uninstall
delete
TikTok.
Candy
Dang
Crush to watch a stupid Packer game.
oh, man. Yeah, the Sunday night. When's it gonna be a Sunday night? I gotta get for work.
Yeah.
Nova
It's like,
says
no, these guys
Cocaine
are doing
Bear
everything possible.
awful. Real gory if you like that. Well, enjoy, Jake.
This is there's a review that like I think maybe Two of Us was trying to make good somehow, and it just felt not good, and then a not good.
Yeah, there's two reviews, one good, one bad, and they're both awful.
Two of Us says he fell asleep the first time. If it's good, I don't think. I don't know, man.
After this
I don't
Cocaine Bear
know.
after this show.
I don't like
I
this.
fell asleep the first time. No,
It's gonna be like
shot
watching a
against the film.
UDFA,
I'm just
man.
at the point of young adulthood where I can fall asleep doing anything.
I'm going to give NFL draft grade scale for movies now, and that's what we're doing once a week. Cocaine Bear, I have that
UDFA.
feeling that he's going to be a priority free agent or just a UDFA,
Undraftable.
or as some say in the scouting world, can't play dead in a western. Like that's like, like that's. This is not a good sign.
All right. I have a question I'll put to Ryan first and then to the chat as well. What are you most excited for? The Packers game or Jake's Cocaine Bear review?
I'll be honest, man. I'm pretty excited for it because at this point I know it's awful, and I can just wait. I just cannot wait to bring it up and just have him have to relive that moment and how awful it was, and just demand that he take us through the whole movie. It's going to be a good time.
I just want to check see how long it is. I have Peacock on my phone, and
I hope it's a 3-hour movie.
I'm just like, man, please don't be over 2 hours.
It's like the Titanic or something.
Okay, hour 35.
I got one.
I mean,
for
Rotten
you guys.
Tomatoes there's some decent numbers here, so
Yeah,
it's not great numbers, but
it's probably really good.
So my wife and I went to the movie theater this week, and we saw the new Alien Romulus film.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this scene where, the face hugger, comes and lays its eggs in the person. And, so the chest thing is like crawling around inside of the person. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. And my very pregnant wife turns to me and says, this movie is way more creepy when there's actually something moving around inside you and kicking you.
Yeah.
I said, oh, yeah, you're kind of watching this in 4D. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So don't give any bears cocaine when you're watching the movie, Jake.
all right.
On the flip side,
Sounds good.
if you are a Chicago Bears fan, you may need some cocaine to help you get through this season.
Oh no.
You might.
Jason wants to know which of the three of us would be the best head coach. I think
Jake.
I'm going to take myself out of the running because I would rather be the GM. I don't think I'd want to be the head coach, and Jake knows more X's and O's than I will ever know.
I would also
Jake
want
would
to be the GM.
at least be a really good coordinator.
we could have a good time out there for sure.
Figure something out.
I could get into LaFleur's mode of like, man, the media again, and just like clowning people for being late to press conferences and stuff.
And for
I
asking
would be
stupid
so-
questions.
Who's the wide receiver one? I would tell you if you stopped asking me. It's just like, like the Nick Saban, like the Nick Saban silent. I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Yeah.
Like,
I would tell you if you weren't such an idiot.
Yeah.
So I think that
What was
Ryan
what was the
is a head
question?
coach.
He could, that's I could see it.
For that job, sure. Just for
Well,
media
I was
relations.
going to say, I think that Ryan as a head coach would be Bill Belichick with the media,
Mhm.
but then also wouldn't want to talk to the players either, and that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Ryan's delegating out there.
Yeah.
But he's running a tight ship though. No nonsense.
Okay, but wait a minute.
Somebody comes.
good.
One of the players comes to talk to me. It's like, bro, that's why I have an offensive coordinator, so I don't have to talk to you. Go ask
receiver
him.
talking about getting the ball. It's like, that's an offensive coordinator question, bro. Get out of here.
Okay,
Did
there
you see how
was this
busy
one
watching
time-
Cocaine Bear?
I need to get this report up to JJ by 4:00. I don't have time to listen to your nonsense.
And they go, "Wait a minute, are you playing a video game while you talk to me, Coach?"
No.
There was this time in 2020 when Preston Smith was not playing very well, and Ryan was going off about it on his podcast. And he was like saying, here's what I'd say if I was LaFleur. I go in and I'd tell these guys this. I'd tell these guys this. And I'd say, and Preston, go sit on the bench or I'm going to throw a chair at you. And play like that
Bobby
again.
Knight?
I think that's
Okay.
about all the preview we need of head coach Ryan.
JJ's got the Goody GM vibe to him where he's just like, I will talk to the media twice a year and you will like it. Like you're not. I'm not gonna be here, okay, in front of this microphone very much. Okay, I got work to do.
I don't think I would talk to the players either, though, as the GM.
Somebody's got to talk to the players, guys. We
I'll
can't.
do it. I got it.
All right, Jake. Thank you.
The coordinators are talking to the players, right? I'm gonna walk out there with like the vibe of Mike McDaniel. That's the game plan.
Yeah, right.
I think that's gonna be the game plan out there.
You say Mike McDaniel or Mike Daniels?
Mike McDaniel, I think.
Mike McDaniel, yeah.
Just that kind of energy.
Big difference.
Wait, Jake, how tall are you? Because there are some aspects of your build that are kind of Mike McDaniel-ish. Like you kind of sort of have some of the same hair as him. Short facial hair too, like he has. How tall are you? Because he's kind of a short guy, isn't he? Are you short or tall?
I don't think he's super tall. I think I'm 5'11" and an eighth.
Oh, you're
And
taller than me.
yes, I did it in eighths because the draft does it. Why wouldn't we? Right? Why wouldn't we?
Mike McDaniel is 5'9". Oh crap.
Too
Well,
tall
I'm
for me.
5'10", so I'm closer to Mike McDaniel's height than you are.
Well, how tall is McVay? Sometimes some people have told me I look like McVay. I don't see that. I don't quite understand that, but
Sean McVay is 5'10".
okay. Well, we'll workshop that.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
Yeah.
workshop that offline. Yeah.
How tall
Mike
is Gutekunst?
Vrabel
Look
is
it up.
6'4".
Give me a scouting report.
Yeah, Vrabel's big. That's a good no-go. I'll have to see what some of the young coordinators are in terms of height. Like the guy in Houston, his name is
Ben
escaping
Johnson.
me right now. Or Ben Johnson. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what Petzing looks like in Arizona either.
Jason,
I would
says
love to
the
do what Petzing
atmosphere-
does.
The atmosphere is going to be way better in
Yeah.
Brazil than in Green Bay because no one's going to tell you to sit down and be quiet.
Yeah, I saw that comment. I
Yep.
quietly giggled at that. That was great.
I would actually appreciate seeing somebody try to tell them to sit down. Be very curious to see how that
Oh,
goes.
can we send the Milwaukee package up down there?
Yeah,
I
send the
just want
gold
that
package.
interaction. Yeah, the gold package. Send them down
Yeah.
there. I want to see those interactions. We can
That
get
would be
fights in
funny.
Brazil. You tell people to sit down. Oh man, not good.
Ryan,
Americans
So
were
Turtles
awful.
wants to
Why
know
were
when
they
you're
like
playing Equity.
criminals or something? No, they kept telling us to sit down and be quiet. It was really annoying.
just
Do you hear
annoyed me out
those
there.
those Packer fans that got beat up in Brazil? Oh man, were they wearing green? No, they told them to sit down.
No, they told us to sit down. I said, "Why are you standing?"
You can stand
Feels
the
like we're
whole
out-
time.
I just wanted to be out to lunch, and I'm just watching the game. You yell at these things.
Can't wait.
Cocaine Bear watch party during the Taylor Swift Ravens game.
Yeah. Why you gotta say it like that?
Yeah, come on.
I'm actually excited for that game. I don't know
I think it'll be
why it's got to be ruined with that whole situation.
good. I think it'll be a good one.
I've never been able to sympathize with either side, like the side that's excited that Taylor's there or the side that hates that Taylor gets talked about. I just don't care either way. Like it doesn't bother me that she's there, but I also I'm not excited either.
Yeah, I'm here for it if it gets more people into the game. That's totally. I'm good with that. And I think that's probably the goal, of course.
The problem
But yeah,
is these
I
are
feel
not
like
people
we
that are
hear
going
about
to
it.
be staying with the game. These are people that are going to stay with the game until they break up, and then they're going to go and leave
Well,
forever.
My wife
possible.
My wife is mad about it because she's been a Chiefs fan since 2018 when Mahomes got
I was
fun.
gonna. Okay, yeah.
But she's also like a big Taylor Swift fan. But she's mad about this because people assume that she's like one of these NFL Swiftie fans. She's like, no, man. I'm actually a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. I'm worried about the Samaje Perine Carson Steele battle for RB2. Okay, I'm not worried about what time Taylor's showing up. Okay, got bigger things to worry about.
I like this comment.
Oh no,
what the heck is Cocaine Bear?
The reviews are. See.
Guess who else is watching Cocaine Bear this weekend? So Turtles.
Southern Turtles and Jake are gonna be watching Cocaine Bear together.
See, then United Bates and Too Old for This are now getting into more of these, and this might be a weekly thing now.
Oh,
Cocaine Beavers and Velocipaster.
Zombievers.
Velocipaster. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Velocipaster. There's another one.
Velocipastor.
Yep.
Velocipastor, like
like
yes, chicken al pastor. Yeah. That sounds better. That sounds
delicious, actually.
That sounds like
Velocipastor.
Yeah, there's a Velociraptor doing a cooking show. I mean,
yeah, or just dinosaur meat. I don't know either. However you want to do it.
Dinosaur al pastor. Okay, yeah, dinosaur al pastor. That could be interesting.
Dinopastor.
I tried looking up Zombievers to find a good picture that I can put on the screen. There's definitely nothing I can put on screen.
Oh, okay. Well, they sound like a lot of UDFA movies right now. There's, we're have to get to some first rounders.
No, I'm pretty sure this one just went straight to the CFL.
Oh, okay. No report there. That's good.
Every time somebody abbreviates Too Old for This as Toft, I always.
I don't know. It takes
the first time that happened, I was like, I'm scared to ask what that is.
Well, after like the 9th time, I looked it up and Google it. No idea. They're like, I think it's a British thing. I'm like, all right, sounds right.
Yeah.
Clayton says Thomas Austin would be the quality control coach.
Yes.
We definitely need Thomas Austin in some capacity for sure.
Have to make sure Thomas Austin does a lot of the interaction with the players.
Yeah. Yep. That'd be good.
The
perfect liaison between the players and the two that are above me on the screen right now.
They will walk away from that more confused than when they came with the question.
Like I forgot
who I want to be our linebackers coach is our very own Mr. Jacob Beard. That dude has a ferocity and an intensity that comes out sometimes that scares me a little, and I want to see him screaming at our linebackers, Anthony Campanile style.
Be good.
There you go.
It's coming together.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this out loud. We're probably gonna get canceled.
Are you sure you want to read this out loud? You don't have to. I think the joke. We've exhausted the jokes. It's time to play now, right?
That joke is never going to get old.
Yeah, but Bears week is like forever away. I mean, you know how like last year we got it out of the way week 1 and it was amazing, and this week this year we had to wait like half the season for Bears week.
That's fine.
For the audio,
hey JJ, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
All right, for the audio only listeners who are just wondering, I'm just going to read it out loud.
Watch on YouTube.
Words. Keith Spencer says Caleb Williams made a few throws already where I'm wondering if the next Mahomes will be carrying a purse in Chicago. And I just got to say, I find it really offensive to suggest that the Bears are going to have a Mahomes. So
I was going to say that.
Oh, man.
School for this says Keith. Watch the rest of his throws and it'll bring it back down to earth.
There is a very much a late 2010s Rodgers to how he plays as well. That I think some people in the national media space have definitely talked about it at length, and that's good. Yeah. I don't think enough have, but there are definitely a select few who have.
It is a little surprising to see how many. I mean, even like late in the draft cycle, I don't know if it was just fatigue with talking about how great he was or whatever. There was a ton of like, I don't know. There's some stuff here that's not great with him.
Yeah.
You would think this is just a slam dunk for 99% to just be gushing 24/7, but
Yeah.
makes me happy.
Too old for this says, why is the NFL acting like Brazil is any worse than Philly? To be fair, I don't think that Sao Paulo has ever booed Santa Claus. So, there's that.
Yeah, dude. Philly's always the worst.
Yeah. There was not many better things to see them lose 2 in a row to Arizona in the NLCS after they were talking about how they were, getting ready for a World Series parade.
I usually really like the Eagles football team, and then every time I'm reminded that the Eagles fan base exists,
Yep,
right.
I want the
problem.
Eagles to go 0-17 every year.
That's the problem.
They have some
forget
really
that.
likable players and coaches
know.
in Philly. Like the organization seems really cool, and then they just have like the worst human beings in the planet that all band together and wear this team's colors.
How does that happen, by the way? It's such
and
a random.
harass other fan
It's like they're
bases.
like New Yorkers, but they're more New Yorkers than New Yorkers are. I don't
New
understand. Like, what
Yorkers-
is it with this little pocket of D-bags in this little region here?
The New Yorkers got tired of them and sent them out of town.
Yeah,
And they
right.
Just were like, all right, we'll go like 90 minutes away. That's fine.
There was a.
You're still gonna be thinking
playoff
about us a little
game or
bit because we're close
something.
enough. But
Yeah.
I forget when there was some really big game just a couple of years back where the Eagles and the Vikings were playing each other, and I saw some videos of like some Vikings fans just trying to walk into the stadium to go watch the game, and they're getting crap thrown at them, and they're getting screamed at and sworn at, like just trying to go in and watch this game. And I was watching that. I was like, okay, I'm actually rooting for the Vikings in this game, and I don't have like any doubt in my soul that this is my conviction. I am rooting for the Vikings in this game.
it feels like one of those like stadiums that I would want, like stadium wise, I want to have on the bucket list, and then just thinking about all that just like immediately removes it. There's no need. Go see a concert there, or something instead.
Jason says biggest threats to the Packers in this game
That's a good idea.
exclude injuries. Biggest threat to me would be Philly's D-line controlling the game and Packers offensive line not being able to handle it. I still need to see it to believe it with our interior. I'm not saying that I don't believe in them, but I just need to see it first.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you go that route, I would kind of similarly say I want to believe in it, but I need to see it first with our DBs against, their quarterback, wide receiver, tight end group.
Especially AJ Brown.
I mean, it's twofold. On one hand, I don't know that they're going to do a good job, and then secondarily, it's a really good group to kind of get off to a slow start and have a bad day with. So that's going to scare me a little bit, but I think if they can control that, it's going to be a pretty easy day.
We've been going
The
for
biggest
an
threat.
hour and 2 minutes. I think we're going to do like one or maybe two more questions and then wrap it up, unless someone wants to throw some super chats in here, and then we'll keep going.
There you go.
Because
Always
Ryan's
an
an old
option.
man. He's got to get to bed.
There you go. I think the biggest threat is if the Eagles somehow convince the Giants to give them Malik Neighbors before Friday. That's a problem. That would be a big problem.
I was starting to feel bad that we were assigning
In
this
all
cocaine
serious-
bear assignment to Jake, and I don't feel bad anymore.
You shouldn't. Yeah, I think you both hit on the two biggest ones. I'm definitely worried about Jalen Carter lining up the gap nearest Myers and whoever starts at right guard, just to see how that's handled.
Yeah.
They have Sweat, they have Huff. that they borrowed from the Jets. They got the better version. They sent Reddick over there. I think. At least at least they got the younger version. They got a younger version of Reddick. There, I'll go there. A guy who wants to play. So so yeah, I think their line and what they do.
Traded a football player. Traded a guy that wants to play for a guy that doesn't want to play.
Yeah,
well done.
That's
Joe Douglas.
Eagles as an organization, just crushing it out here. Like as simple as that. Get guys who want to play.
Yeah.
That's probably in a 101 class somewhere. But yeah, I think just kind of if they kind of move their alignments around. Obviously, I don't imagine they're going to have Huff out there, on early downs or anything like that. But dude's got a fastball he can come at you with later down. So I think it's just I'm scared that Green Bay doesn't get into favorable spots on early downs where they expose themselves to what could be a fearsome pass rush all game long. So, hey, for those fantasy players out there, Josh Jacobs, Packers win that game. I feel like Jacobs, has a pretty good day.
Tool for this says this show didn't have enough derailment tonight. That's on you guys. All right.
That's
I don't know.
What job is to derail us.
Hold on.
Our job.
You don't come here for us. We come here for you, and you let us down. Damn it.
Our job is to try and stay on track and talk about football. And it looks like tonight we won.
Right.
Your job is to derail us. Now, Tool for this. I mean, you certainly gave it a valiant effort. You were trying more than anybody else.
Yeah. Cocaine Bear got us going a little bit.
That worked. Yeah.
Cocaine Bear was
brought out the robot
to
figure out who's watching it, so that works.
We do need, when I post this to the audio feed, I do need some sort of title that's going to tie in Cocaine Bear and playing in Brazil or playing in Philly.
How do we tie in South America and cocaine?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Should we? I don't know if we should go there.
I'm struggling. I got nothing. I'll be honest.
Oh man, it's gonna be tough. I think we'll figure it out, but I do. I do think complaining about like, oh man, there wasn't enough derailment. That's kind of, I don't know, making a bad movie and then kind of be like, why is nobody coming to this? Like, why is nobody coming? Why are we getting big revenue from all this? It's like, well, you had a job to do.
Wasn't a very deraily day. I think you're right though, Jake. I think everyone's just kind of in football mode right now.
I mean, with now I guess less than 4 days technically until
makes sense. I understand.
Rolling, so it's fair. Everybody's kind of like, I know. Wait, where was it? There was a question that I think we didn't get to. Where was it? Oh, so Turtles asked how many snaps you think Edgerrin Cooper will see in the first game.
Yeah, I did want to put that on there and I forgot. Yeah. And he specifically said this game,
on Friday.
Philly game. Hold on a second.
What?
Jason is trying hard to derail us. I'll go with King Kong next time. He's got to be a better player than Godzilla.
All right, pull up the RAS.
That's a great callback. Oh, wait a minute. What is the Cocaine Bears RAS?
Ooh. It'd be interesting to like compare the RAS pre and post cocaine. You know what I mean?
We'll get some GPS testing out there, pre and post, and see what comes back.
Just find out like what a brown bear or a grizzly or whatever it is, what the stats are, and then we'll figure out what Cocaine Bear is all about.
Yeah,
find out what cocaine does to a bear.
The robot has an idea for the title of this episode.
Okay,
Cocaine Bear tackles Philly cheesesteaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd click on that.
Well, it's true. That's true. I don't know if it's got the best. I don't know if it. Godzilla RAS being in the title, that takes the cake so far this year with Derailed, but it's not bad.
I got a friend named Joey, and he was asking me what our show was about, and I just pulled up like the feed. and just showed him the titles, and he's like, "Wait, what's this
So
Godzilla?
what's it about?
What's this Godzilla thing?" He's like,
I think
"Is
it's
this
the
all
photo.
clickbait?"
No.
What's it about? You needed to show him the where is it? The picture of Godzilla RAS on the screen, and then AFM asking, "What are your thoughts on Finding Nemo?" With the JJ Paycon or Jake Bucks at the bottom on the ticker, right?
Oh man,
Like,
that's classic. It does
and
not
then
get
obviously
that's
the-
peak derailed.
And then obviously this cheese mouth with the that whole deal, which is a sight, that's for sure. But that's I think that's the picture you got to show. It's as good as it gets.
Too Old for This says there's no way King Kong has a higher PFF grade than Godzilla. He might be more athletic, but in terms of actual gameplay, I want Godzilla on the field. Jason says Godzilla isn't as mobile. King Kong definitely is getting pressure on the QB.
Yeah, that's fair. Godzilla's probably more of
Who
a
is more
one tech, right? Like that's probably true. King Kong might be more one of those versatile guys, like your Son Reddicks, the Isaiah Simmons is, right? Can you move them all over the place? Play a few positions. Yeah, but I agree with Too Old for This. King Kong, Godzilla's PFF grade's got to be outstanding. He's a closer, okay? I don't. King Kong seems to, there just seems to be an inconsistency there, and I feel like Godzilla, maybe has one bad game in there. At least if you're talking about the new movies, he might have one bad game, and we all know what that game was. He got caught off guard, okay? It didn't happen again, right? So he's got the consistency. He's better. I agree. Better PFF grade. Just better player overall.
We're gonna have to fill out a team one of these days using creatures, whatever you call them, from fictional
Monsters.
creatures,
Monsters.
The monsters, the kaiju, isn't that what they're called? I think at least in that series.
Is Godzilla
right?
or is King Kong a kaiju though? I think
Probably
only,
not, but he would just just slide him. We'll get the
I should
nomenclature
know because I
down for
watched
next week.
like 10 of these stinking movies.
Yeah, we'll have the nomenclature down for this.
I'll have to watch my first one so I can contribute to some degree.
There
I was supposed to
There we
give
go.
you the ranking of the good ones and bad ones.
I think JJ and I talked about it a little
Chat,
bit.
get on
after
that. Give me a
that
ranking of the
episode.
best ones so I know which ones to watch, and I'll try to report back.
That sounds like Ryan's report. There we go.
Yep.
We got that for a future show. One of those. So
Okay, here we go.
Aslan would be pretty good out of the backfield. That's a sick pull right there. That's good.
All right,
I
listen
like
here.
that. I
We
like
got
that.
the tier maker here.
Whoa.
So there's a bunch of these I'm
Dang.
not putting in because I don't know these. I'm gonna do the ones I've actually seen. But chat, listen, we need you said that pay counter at the bottom, 0,
Yeah.
0,
What's
0.
up with
I don't know if
that?
we're gonna be able
What's
to
up with that?
do the whole list here. If we don't have any super chats. So I have seen from here. This would be the 2014 Godzilla through. Man, there's a bunch. I haven't even seen a bunch of these. I'm gonna put all the ones I've seen.
Some of these
just
I don't
right here
recognize
together.
like the cover.
So-
Wow, Ryan, don't watch. It's all F tier. Don't watch
Okay, that
them.
helps.
We're missing
These
the-
movies
this
all
is-
suck, apparently.
Nah, JJ's just an example, like Cocaine Bear, Velocipaster, and the Zombievers. Though that's what's supposed to be, I think, in that tier probably. So we'll see.
Here's
Okay, so
the-
Aslan has to be included. That's good to know. Make sure he's included in that because he's obviously not in that monster verse. But I'm that sounds good. So like, does the giants from Game of Thrones count as well? If like Aslan counts, or we kind of
I don't know. I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Never
saw the
knew.
first-
all those.
I saw the
group
first
elders in
season.
there.
And that was it.
We'll have to figure out what goes on that list. If there's more than just the kaiju and Kong and all that.
All right, here I've added the King Kong movie as well. So, Godzilla -1 is S tier. It's amazing.
That's what it. That seems to be the consensus, which awesome.
I would say I'm going to rename this B tier. I'm going to rename it to
A-.
good, but not necessarily fun.
I feel like that's what a B is. Right?
And then this one's going to be fun, but not necessarily good.
I actually think, funny enough, B and C actually can perfectly encapsulate both of those.
I'm gonna put both of the Godzilla and Kong combo movies in fun, but not necessarily good.
Right, Ryan. While he's doing this, I feel like if you gave the prospect a B, like he's good, but he's not fun. Like he's not exciting. He's not upside driven player. So I feel like that fits perfectly in B. Fun, inconsistent guy feels like a C or maybe below. I don't know. So far, the tier ranking. That's the cocaine bear tier. Dog. JJ trying to figure out whether dog crap or fine should be which one's on the bottom.
All right, here we go. So here's my tiers here. So we have perfect tier is just Godzilla -1
and Malik Neighbors, but yes. Okay.
Yep.
Hold on, we got to add Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. All right.
Hold on, I'm trying to find his face.
That's great.
Oh, here we go. This is the picture right here. Save.
I just want to put it out there on this stream while he's doing this. If Malik Neighbors is bad, I think I'm going to be inconsolable forever. I'm pretty sure. So I feel like I'm going to be depressed for a long time.
Well, I know you're going to be real unhappy with the fact that a big part of the reason why he's bad is the quarterback situation.
Well, that's probably yeah.
So it's going to be like he's bad, and Jake's just going, no, he's not. It's not his fault.
If it doesn't go well in either New York spot, okay, and the Packers receivers have like one bad game, I might emotionally lash out and say, "Give me trade for both Garrett Wilson and Malik Neighbors." I might, okay. You guys just got to ignore it and say, "Okay, he's emotional.
He's just having a moment.
He just needs a minute." That's what happened. It's fine.
2-0 for this. All fictional characters team: Godzilla, Kong, Aslan, Malik Neighbors.
I think Malik Neighbors is going to get on that team eventually.
In perfect tier, I have Godzilla -1 and Malik Neighbors.
It's perfect. No notes.
Kong Skull Island goes in fun and good.
Okay.
Godzilla 2014 is good, but not necessarily fun. I have
3 for 3.
Godzilla versus Kong and Godzilla and Kong are both in the fun, but not necessarily good tier. I put the Apple TV Monarch series in fine. It's okay. If you want more Godzilla content, it's decent. And then in the dog crap tier, I have Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and the whatever this was, 1999.
I only really have to watch like 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah. I would say so. I
would say top 3. I think the first, because one of them's just a Kong movie, right? So Kong Skull Island is I think
so. Start with I can't see that. What is the good but not fun?
Good but not fun is the 2014. It's the first one in the series.
Okay.
The thing is with it is it's kind of dark and somewhat slow moving. So I just don't know how much you would enjoy it, but maybe you would. Okay. I like it a lot. The tone of most of the movies is all very different from each other. Like the tone is just wildly fluctuates all over the place. So you get some that are like campy and silly, and some that are depressing and scary and like a horror movie.
Yeah.
But you should enjoy Kong Skull Island, and then the Godzilla X Kong. All the branding for it was GK, so I feel like you kind of have to see that one.
All right,
but also I don't know if that one's gonna make any sense if you don't see the one that came before it. Godzilla versus
Kong. So I got to watch both of those in that tier.
Yeah, because Godzilla X Kong is a straight up sequel.
Yeah, all right.
Both or neither, I guess. Is
Both or neither. Well, that makes it easy.
And then Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I can't stress enough. This movie should not have been made. It basically had one good scene in it, and then that was it. The rest of the movie is just horrible.
All right.
So there you go.
maybe it gives you a good reference point.
Yeah.
So,
I owed you this ranking a couple weeks ago, and I finally got around to it. So
I like that the fictional character team is going to include Zane Anderson. It looks like. That's even better.
Maybe Zane Anderson goes in good, but not necessarily fun.
Just no. That's Rich Bisaccia talking there. He's the one who's putting him in that tier.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if Jeff Hafley's kind of like Jeff Hafley might think he's a fictional character, perhaps. So
I'm surprised there's not some Godzilla super fan in our chat here who's freaking out that I haven't seen Shin Godzilla yet. It's the next one on my list.
okay, so that's your report for a future derail.
I will happily report on Shin Godzilla and not have to watch Cocaine Bear. Sounds awesome.
But
Drew
you
short
know what?
straw on that one, Jake.
Here's the thing, though. I think, with a good movie, I feel like it's kind of like, oh, that's fun. He's going to report on a good. If it's bad, I feel like everybody's anticipating the review. So that's good news. That means there should be some people tuning in for the bad review.
True.
Like, how bad is it? Or how insane is it? Like, find out next week.
Yeah, we're all going to be disappointed to find out you really liked it.
I don't think
There was-
that's going to happen.
There was somebody in the chat that was trying to get me to review Alien Romulus on the show here, and I don't think I can do that when nobody else is even an Alien fan. Has anyone seen The Room? Haven't seen it. Have seen a bunch of YouTube videos about it. I know what it's all about. I've seen all the funniest slash weirdest scenes from The Room.
Which room?
This is the Tommy Wiseau movie.
Oh,
I don't know who that is.
Oh, come on. You don't know?
I
Oh,
don't
man.
either. I couldn't tell you who that guy is.
It's always funny when people do that. Like, oh, it's that one director. Like, you think I know directors, bro? I couldn't tell you
Read the room.
a single director.
Read the room. This room.
I watch
will probably
movies. I
be
don't know
able to
who's
tell
acting
you-
in them. I don't know who made it. I don't look it up. Oh, that. Okay. Oh, The Room. All right. I gotcha.
So you recognize this face, right?
Yep.
Jake?
No. No, I don't.
So basically, this
Should
guy,
I?
Tommy Wiseau,
Should I?
Tommy Wiseau funds and directs and acts in this movie that he came up with, and it basically, completely goes under the radar. Nobody ever sees it. Kind of becomes like a cult classic. There's some people who just adore the movie, and then I don't know, 5 years ago, the internet discovers it. And all the wacky scenes that are in it, because basically Tommy Wiseau is just weird enough that he doesn't realize how crazy his movie is.
How bad of an actor he is.
Pretty much. And so James Franco makes a movie about the making of The Room. Actually, here's a video of the best of The Room.
Oh, hi, Mark.
My audio coming through?
I did not.
So, really quick,
Can I rehear this?
because as we've gotten down this derailed rabbit hole, I will say, I don't know how long ago this we brought up this question, because it was asked a little while ago before we brought it up. But So Turtles is putting back in the chat, how much do you think we will see Edrin Cooper week 1? I forgot that we didn't answer that question. So that's rough. That's a tough scene. I forgot that we didn't answer. We probably should answer that.
Funny.
That's really good. See,
Here you go,
comments
Jake.
about timing.
It's not
So
true.
Turtles.
Anyways, here you go.
So, all right, there's one
Am I
swear
on
word
mute?
this time.
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna mute it while we're doing it. He just says BS, and I just don't want to say it on the podcast. So, listen, Jake. Tommy Wiseau just walks on the scene. This is the beginning of the scene. All right, and this is how it starts. This is my answer to the Edgerrin Cooper question.
I did not hit her. It's not true. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, okay. I have heard that before.
Oh.
Well, you wasted another perfectly good hour listening to
No. Hold on. No.
For more content just like this, make sure you tune into our live stream every Monday night.
So, Turtles, I would like to apologize formally.
I'd like to thank our executive producer, Alicia Schlipp.
Thank you. Thanks, Cocaine Bear. Thank you, Aslan. Thank you, Philly Cheesesteaks. What else do we need to thank?
I don't know. These people didn't do
The Room.
Super Cats, so I'm not sure.
We'll have to talk, see if we can talk the executive producer into watching those movies with me. I doubt she'll say yes, but maybe with a little peer pressure. She'd be willing to do it.
Goodness. This is...
What we need to do is
I'll just comment my answer.
we need to do a fundraiser to get Alicia to come on and do a movie review of Cocaine Bear or The Room. And I don't know. I mean, how much money do you think it would take to get her to come on and do it?
I'd have to ask her. I don't know. She's like you, JJ. She's going to come up with a really high number.
All right, Alicia, think about it. Whatever dollar amount that it's going to take, let us know, and we will start a GoFundMe.
It's
get
funny too
you
because
on
I've brought it up a couple times because I'll always recommend like really awful things because I know she's gonna say no. So like rather than just going to the show we want to watch, I'll just be like, you want to watch Cocaine Bear? You want to watch some horror movie or whatever? She doesn't find it funny, but I do it every single night. I don't know why she's married to me.
I've been asking my wife every night for the last month and a half, which James Bond movie do you want to watch tonight? She never wants to see a James Bond ever.
An interesting question. New tier lists dropping next week.
James Bond? The movies or the actors?
Ooh. Well, they're all S tier actors, though.
All right. I wouldn't
Except
know.
for Lazenby is probably A tier, not S tier. Everybody else is S tier.
Oh, I just can't get over this.
So, Ryan, I got a question for you.
Is it about Edgerrin Cooper?
How many snaps do you think he's going to play?
I really wish you just asked a completely.
I know. I was
like, what's your favorite ice cream sandwich?
Yeah.
Like, that would have been even better.
All right, Ryan,
Yo.
Edgerrin Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we could see him playing off the edge at some point before the end of the season?
That was even. It's not even the same question. This is incredible.
Oh, my jaw hurts. Yeah, sure. I guess. How many snaps off edge was that the question that we were trying to answer?
Nope.
How many snaps?
Just snaps.
How many
a week
snaps
long.
at corner?
We just needed. It's funny because we just needed a number, and I don't know what happened. I can't wait to watch or listen to this back to see what happened. That we were just like, yeah, because whoever it is or whatever, that's derailer of the week because we brought the thing up onto the screen.
I was ready,
and then
I was. The gears are turning, and then somehow gone.
If you can believe it, it was Godzilla's RAS again. That's what it was.
That's what did it, huh?
That's what did it.
Oh shoot!
That's like the trump card.
It's doing
Anytime we're
that thing
struggling
does
to get
work.
derailed, just boom, there you go, Godzilla.
Edgerrin Cooper tier list.
Oh,
Snap tier list.
oh man.
Oh,
Based on like, okay, so if he plays this amount of snaps, how bad did the game go? Is that what we're doing? Like 13 to 18 snaps. That's good. Like that's good for the team. Or like I don't know how we're building that tier list, but
something like that.
What I think is good is it's completely off topic from Edgerrin Cooper snaps, which we've still not answered. But this is a great bit now. When I have to imagine when people see the pod for Derailed come up on the feed and they go, "Oh, it's 90 minutes." Oh boy. Like when it's like an hour 3, they're like, "Okay, it's relatively tame." When it gets close to 90, it's got to I imagine at least some people are kind of like, "Oh, we're in for it. This will be a quick 90 minutes for this pod."
Either something really crazy happened or there was a lot of money involved.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah. Answering $20 questions, or we're talking about Godzilla RAS again.
Spoiler, it's always the first one, never the second one.
Oh man. Okay.
So what are we doing now?
So the number of snaps for Andrew Cooper in week 1. One of the greatest bits that there's ever been, I think, on Derailed, but we got to answer it eventually.
If we don't answer it, I'm just throwing this out there because of course we should. But if we don't, that is going to be the greatest running joke of all time.
Oh, it is.
To have
honestly
people in here asking about Edgerrin Cooper and we never answer it.
Probably should. Yeah.
I can't get our.
I should have let
names
JJ
on
outro the show because it would have been perfect.
Yep.
It's just like, oh yeah,
Here it is.
We just
There
left
we
it
go.
alone. We just left
There you
it
go,
alone.
Jake. There's a new name for you.
Perfect. I want my name to be Malik Neighbors. That's what I want. I think it's actually they have that like new thing where it's like you have your display name and then you have something under it, right? Like I think they have that now.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
note. I don't know. I feel like I still have it's almost Malik Neighbors season on there.
I know. I think
But
I think I can't edit your.
There it is. Yeah.
I can't
it's
edit
still there.
that for you. So whatever you.
That's good because
I
it's
can.
staying there forever. Hedger and Cooper snaps. Cocaine Bear Report due next Monday.
See your syllabus.
Also, Florida State just lost again. That's hilarious, by the way.
That was one of the things I was laughing about. Before we started, a bunch of funny stuff was going on social media, and I was trying to focus and not laugh at it. And I'm just scrolling through, and I don't even know the context. Like, I'm just barely picking up stuff on social media, what's going on in college football. And I just see the quarterback for Florida State with the caption over it that just says, ass.
Oh, no.
Oh.
It's funny because Kirk Herbstreit trolled them with a tweet last week after they lost to Georgia Tech. Was kind of like, hey, you got a great opportunity here. You can you win down the stretch, and you just keep winning, and you're in the playoff. Because they've never tried that before at Florida State.
Yeah, no.
No, someone tweeted they should bring back the Fire Mike Norvell space again because that was one of the legendary days on Twitter where they had that space up and like they would just let people speak, but you had to say Fire Mike Norvell before you got to speak in the space. It was epic. I would love to see that brought back.
All right,
I think that's it.
Jake, you happy with
we
your new
covered
title?
Sure, that works. I like it.
Well, it's happened again. You've wasted another perfectly good hour listening to us here. I mean, honestly, an hour and a half. Listening to us here on Packernet Derailed. Thanks so much to everybody who dropped questions in the chat. Thank you to the Derailers. Love all of you. Appreciate you. And I want to say to the folks who are going to Brazil or live in Brazil, thank you for showing up and making it not this home game that the Eagles think it's going to be. Holy cow. There we go. Super
There
chat.
it is.
Right in before the
United
deadline.
Bates.
Ooh,
Cards for little man.
Appreciate you,
Ryan,
dude.
what does that mean? It's cards for little man.
I think that's Cullen. Sorry, boys.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
I didn't
All right,
see
hold
you
on.
put that on the ticker. No, see that go on the ticker.
Ryan, how do you
I vote for
spell
Jason
Cullen's
Yu.
name? Is it ULLE?
Kullen.
Okay.
You gonna do cash with a K, or no?
Oh, I did coins, but we already had coins on here, so I'll do
Yeah,
cash.
Ryan Coins is already. Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
There we go. All right.
Maybe
Colin's on there now.
Wow.
Southern Turtles.
So Turtles. Oh, what is?
The Godzilla.
Yeah,
Net
next week.
podcast.
Yeah, next week JJ has the intro. This is Godzilla Net Derailed, I think.
You know, I got to tell you, United Bates, Colin is already getting a big head about how much more money he makes than me when we do streams together. Now he made more money than all three of us combined, and he's not even on the freaking stream.
Yeah, there's no
boy.
Tyler Dershel tonight, which means this is my last drink for the show. Next week I don't have a drink. I'm going to be drinking tap water. Tap water. You hear that? And Colin's going to be, buying cards and laughing at me. I was doing an outro. Thank you to our executive producer, Alicia. Thank you to United Bates, our financier. And most importantly, thank you for listening. And the words of the late, great Mr. Ed Policy. Go Pack Go.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous 2-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes per details.